Okay, in this problem we've got two functions and they give us the domain in radians, so we know we're working in radians. It's a composite function in this first question. We're going to take the rule for g of x and put it in place of x of f of x. So basically what we're talking about is taking this 1/2 x and putting it there. So that's what this looks like. And see, now they want us to make it equal to 1. And see, you got to be really careful because I've got to make sure I put this equal 1 in here. It's really easy to miss. Anyway, now I'm going to solve it. Subtract 2 on both sides, get -1. Divide by -3 on both sides, get 1/3. Cosine, the inverse cosine of 1/3 is equal to 1/2 x. So keep in mind, we're going to find our solutions by using the calculator, and then we're going to divide them by 1/2, which means we're going to multiply them by 2. So if you take a look at the original domain, 0 to 2 pi, well, really, we want our preliminary answers to be within the range of 0 and 1 pi, because any answer we start off with is going to get divided by 1/2 or multiplied by 2. So anyway, we got our first answer. That is within this range of 0 to 1 pi, or 3.14. I look at the other angle for cosine, and I make sure I'm in radians. I do 2 pi minus this 1.2309, and I get 5.05. Now you'll notice that's bigger than 3.14, or pi. If I take that and divide it by 1/2, it's going to be bigger than the number I'm allowed to have. So I'm not using it. It's unacceptable. So I only have the one number to deal with. When I divide it by 1/2, I get 2.4692 radians, or 2.47 radians. And clearly, if I add 2 pi or subtract 2 pi, it's going to be out of the range. So anyway, now the last part, it asks me to sketch the graph. And the first thing I'm going to do is take a look. The domain is 0 to 2 pi. I'm going to write down the stuff I notice. I notice the midline is going to be y equals 2, and the amplitude is going to be 3. I notice that the amplitude's got a negative sign in front of it, which means it's been reflected over the x-axis. And the frequency is 1, so the period is going to be 2 pi, or 360 degrees. So now I'm going to go in and sketch this. I'm going to write the 4 terms here: pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and then 2 pi. And all I'm going to do is take my calculator and type in the equation 2 minus 3 cosine x and put in a 0. And I get my first point, and then change it to pi over 2. And I'm going to get my second point, that's going to be 2. And then I put in my third point, that's pi, and that's going to be 5. And then I put in 3 pi over 2, and I get 2. And then I put 2 pi in, and I get my last point, and that's going to be -1. Now you recognize that this looks like a cosine curve. It's obviously been inverted because it's been reflected over the x-axis. You want to make sure that you kind of fan out as you approach the edge. So thanks for watching. I hope that helped.